In your words, what does it mean to be a man?
Ooh. Okay.
To be a man is to be, still to this day, is to be the provider.
You're expected to be macho and expected to be
strong, not showing any weakness, because you should be ashamed if you do.
Working, looking after family.
I think there's a lot of pressure on men.
I think media are the reason why we still have these stereotypes.
Media, etc., portray males to be strong.
Particularly films, actors are quite often the macho character.
If you put the telly on, you see men as either heroes or psychopaths.
I'm Batman.
I'm an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables.
It's important to acknowledge there could be a perception of a male being strong, powerful,
There is still a massive stigma around men's mental health.
Stereotypes haven't quite changed yet. I think everyone still goes by the same ones that they did like 30 odd years ago, that men are a position of power.
A man used to be going down the mines, and if he loses a couple of friends, it doesn't matter. He will man up and grow a pair and all that.
One of our biggest reasons for being is to get rid of that stigma.
There's a lot of men that have become a little soft.
Even when males are just among males, we still don't really talk to each other earnestly. We insult each other.
It's like having a male nurse assigned to you. Like, still people are shocked to it to this day that a male could be a nurse, let alone a mental health nurse either.
Men's main issue is that initial step of first admitting, okay, maybe I need help, and then that effort to actually go and get the help.
They feel shame, they feel, most importantly, they won't be believed. And I think that not being believed is a real big. They also, as I say, feel guilt.
My gender has prevented me from being comfortable asking for help when it's been needed.
Even talking to a GP to get a diagnosis. I think it's horrible the fact that someone can't do that just because they have this the frightening thought, like, I'm a man, I can't talk to anyone about that.
Myself, I went into the NHS side of it and I sort of got lost in the system.
You're taught to not express your emotions as a male.
I have felt like embarrassed, and I do have thoughts where I felt like people would mock me.
The person who looks after a boy should tell the boy that it's okay to be human.
Men are taught from a young age to sort of internalise their own feelings and not to show emotion.
We have to just keep toiling on, no matter what toll that takes on us.
I know, for example, one place that I used to work at, and a male member of staff had a panic attack and they got called pansy.
God gave us tear ducts to cry.
It's a massive problem. For everyone's issues are all the same.
Being male, the culture doesn't really let you express emotions. You have to be stoic basically all the time. You don't have a chance to break down. Crying is a massive taboo.
Seeing the news, they're still very much straight talking. It's not as much as, like, say that the female kind of anchor you'll see has that fluidity a little bit more with their emotions and crying and stuff, that you see if they're talking about different people and different events that happen, but you'll still see that male anchor that will sit there and just be very stern looking.
The news has a big part to play.
100% the issue is not covered as much as it should.
It has been on the news, like, it has been reported, but he's not reporting enough. As I said, there's no help for people with mental health, especially the men.
There has been coverage, but I think it's not enough.
Do I think it's getting better? Absolutely not.
I think there's a lot more spotlight on issues women face.
It's covered in a very superficial, crass way, where, you know, the kind of questions that people are asking about men and women, where in a civilized society, it should be human beings regardless of gender, sex, faith, etc. Men should acknowledge that women have a very good way of venting, which is we meet up, we talk, we vent, we rant, we say things, we go home sort of relieved that we've taken this load and thrown it away. Men go to the pub and they talk about anything and nothing, get drunk, and they haven't faced up to what really is causing the problem.
Males are victims of domestic abuse and they suffer. My name's Debbie Matthews and I work for Pathway Project. I'm a risk reduction support worker, and Pathway Project is a charity that covers primarily Lichfield and Tamworth areas for victims of domestic abuse and sexual abuse. Domestic abuse can have a severe impact on a man's mental health. For example, a case that I'm working with, and I've been working with for over 12 months now, he has been physically assaulted by his partner. He has been emotionally abused by his partner. So he came to us in his mental health. He had severe anxiety. The issue we'd also had, he'd reported incidents to the police, and initially the police were taking no action at all. He'd reported it to social services because they have a child. The child actually witnessed the abuse. Again, social services, there was no action. So he felt really, really low. He felt that he wasn't being believed. He felt undervalued. He needs support. He needs guidance. He needs help with his anxiety.
What help is there?
I think unless you're looking for it, it's not seen. But if you're looking for it, like if you go and look for it, you'll be able to find something somewhere. But that shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't have to look for it. It should be open. It should be there.
With my mental health, I always keep quiet. Like I'm always quiet. I have never spoken up about my mental health. Not in school, not in colleges, and I know for a fact they never actually taught about if there's anyone there that can help them.
And it needs to be earlier intervention, because I think once you're stuck in this pattern of I get feelings, I internalise them, I don't really deal with them. You don't really get out of that pattern when you're older.
Suicide is the biggest killer of men under the age of 54. That is one man every 2 hours.
Wow.
In my opinion, my personal opinion, I'm not shocked at all because there's no little help.
Is that globally? Or, yeah.
That's a big statistic. I think it's kind of took my breath a little bit. That's horrible. I think it definitely needs to be spoken about more.
People are struggling to get the support. Men are actually struggling to get the support they need from, as I said, doctors, even their local government. They are struggling to get support.
So it's quite shocking, today when there's so much talk about mental health in society, that there's still such high numbers of suicide within men.
It is outrageous, if only because you have to prove that this has become a phenomenon by using statistics and by using drastic statistics. I do understand the role statistics play, but as the joke says, 82.5% of statistics are proved to be wrong or not factual.
1 man every 2 hours. That's frightening if you think about it. We need to be able to tell our friends, other men, that we're here for them, and they probably won't accept at first, but if they need us, then they need to be comfortable to ask.
I've seen many males in my family that kind of suffer in silence.
Whereas if men can come and just feel they're in a free space, peer to peer, and it's confidential, it will help men get the issues out that they need to get out.
There's a lot of services that are sort of women-facing services that don't allow men to access that service.
Suppressed emotions lead to aggression.
Here of men that come through to our helpline where they've tried assistance from numerous people and they've not got the right response because there's been no one for them to talk to, or they say, I've rang 5 different agencies, they've said they can't help me, they've directed me to your service. So I think sometimes it can be limited.
Women have a much easier time to find help.
It's important for them to have and receive services that are available to women.
Sometimes you just need somebody to be there and tell you that it's okay to feel the way you feel.
It's important that we as a whole, organisations, charities, the government have a responsibility to recognise that males do need support in different areas, and mental health is one of the biggest areas that they do need support in.
You get first aiders, that medical first aiders, but there aren't that many mental health first aiders. I think that's something that should be a position every single company in the industry, in any industry, that you should have that voice or that person that you can just go to about these things. 1
suicide is every 2 hours. It's a massive problem.
Organisations do have a responsibility, and I think more awareness raising, more of probably Andy's club all over the country.
We started off at the end of August with 11 people. Last Monday we had 27.
There is a lot of positive outcomes where there are support, and I just never thought that.
If we can get it more out, getting more people to buy into it, hopefully the funding will come that way. And then when people see that more and more men are willing to speak about their issues, that fear of going and talking will go away.
We want to see the truth of how men are coping with their mentality.
Majority of charities that exist mainly aim their material towards women. If you look at Pathway, our leaflets are pink. The logo is pink. In respect of what we provide, we need to look at what media we give out.
Clubs take place up and down the country on a Monday night, 7 till 9. It's free. There's coffee and biscuits waiting for them. So men, all ages, as long as you're above 18 and you identify as a male, you can attend a group, online group, get rid of that stigma, make it commonplace for men to talk about all their problems.